Hey guys, PrinceofMacedon here. I'm going to do a commentary video, and it'll be based on the historical battle, the Battle of Legnano of 1176, between the Holy Roman Empire of Barbarossa against the forces of Milan. And there aren't many, great details about this battle. In fact, every single source that I looked for about this battle and the army numbers, they all conflicted with each other. But some things were absolute. For example, the army of the Holy Roman Empire was predominantly mounted elements, so mainly German knights. And some sources they had no infantry present, other sources said they had some infantry present. So I compromised. I went mainly with German knights. And I do have one unit of these armored sergeants, but the rest are my general's bodyguard, that's Barbarossa's unit, a unit of Imperial Knights, and a unit of the Mailed Knights. And most of the sources say that the troop numbers were about equal between Milan and the Holy Roman Empire, about 2,500 each, around that neighborhood. You're going to see here that I'm greatly outnumbered, but that was the best I can do, like given the really crappy sources that I was looking at. But the forces of Milan, they would have had about 2,500 troops as well. We're going to show you his troops, and this guy's name, the guy playing as Milan, is Savior89, and he's going to be over on this side. But about 2,500 troops, consisting of about 900 knights from Milan. Let me show you them. They're hiding behind this building over here. 900 knights of Milan, represented here by the Mailed Knights. And then he had about 500 other knights from other places. Actually, 550 other knights from other cities. And this is the general's bodyguard of Milan. And rounding up his army, he does have a lot of foot elements here. It's a more balanced army, from what I understand. You had some crossbows. You had some spearmen. Oh, sorry, here's some archers. Spearmen are back here. Then you had this really elite unit. This was called the Company of Death, and I'm going to represent the Company of Death with dismounted men-at-arms. And these guys probably would have worn like clothing over their armor to hide it, like black with a skull over the emblem, looking pretty sweet. And they had a Carroccio unit over here, which the 900 strong units of Company of Death would have protected. And yeah, it was a force of about 2,000 communal militia. It wasn't very grand, minus the fact that they had the elite Company of Death right here. So I'm going to open up this battle by going after his spears. See, his spears come out to play. In the actual battle, they started up with a huge cav engagement between the Emperor's bodyguards and the Milan Knights. So, anyways, I see these spearmen turning their backs on me. So I'm gonna gamble on a glory charge. I'm gonna gamble that the charge will take him out immediately. So I am taking out some numbers here, but he's gonna form into Shieldtron. You got the Carroccio in the back, keeping up the morale. So now his guys are completely in Shieldtron. So I'm gonna peel off a unit of my Mailed Knights. Try to take out this Carroccio, since they're just standing there. And I see his knights moving over here. Here they come. So I'm going to move in my unit of armored sergeants. I'm going to block this little funnel here, bottleneck, just to slow them down. But I know if I get hit from the flanks, I'm going to lose a lot of horses here. Anyways, I peel off my units when I see that his guys are in Shieldtron, but I lose so many horses in my bodyguard unit. See, they're now down to 20 men. But luckily I kept Barbarossa alive. Meanwhile, my armored sergeants are guarding this bottleneck here, and I'm putting my guys into a Shieldtron too. I'm going to countercharge with my Imperial Knights. So I have the cav edge, but Milan here has the edge in the fact that they have more infantry and a more balanced army altogether. So anyways, I take out my Imperial Knights. I figured my sergeants can hold their ground against those two non-upgraded mounted units here. So I charge into these Carroccios. The Carroccio crew, I suppose you can call it that. So anyways, I'm gonna go for a flank charge now on these knights who are still stuck on my spears over here. And yeah, my opponent does have a lot of missiles, and he is blasting away. Now he's rushing in his company of death. See them? Here they come. These guys mean business. And meanwhile, I have some of my knights all the way back. Here's my general's bodyguard sitting out of the fight. These guys, they retreated quite a while. I mean, like, quite a distance back. I thought I was still being chased. But anyways, I lose a unit of my Imperial Knights. That was not good. Not good at all. Meanwhile, my unit of armored sergeants is being hit from all sides now by knights, which I'm not worried about. But I'm more worried about these dismounted men-at-arms here. So I'm gonna flank charge with my general's bodyguard. Here goes Barbarossa. Barbarossa versus the company of death. Oh, look at that! Got some intense action going here. Then I got my mailed knights coming in for a secondary charge, and I rout the dismounted men-at-arms. No more company of death for now. So I want to chase after them, make sure they don't come back from routing. There's still 77 men in that unit, and I run over these Carraccio men. Still being hit by from all those archers. So I had to give up the chase when I see his general's bodyguard coming in. Don't want to get stuck over there, because also he has some peasant crossbows back there too. So I pull back. Here come the Italian spear militia. These guys, they completely screwed up my plans at the beginning. I was very upset about these Italian spears. How dare those lowly peasants stand up to my royal charge. Anyways, I got the general's bodyguard in a vice here. But then I see these dismounted men-at-arms coming back. That's the company of death. They have returned, as I feared they would. So I gotta retreat my mailed knights. Sorry, my general's bodyguard. And still in the thick of this battle are my armored sergeants. Not too far behind are my mailed knights. But you can see back here, these guys came back from routing. I didn't notice that until it was a little bit later in the battle. So Frederick the Great is getting hammered by this unit of general's bodyguard. But Frederick the Great is pretty experienced in warfare.
Goes poorly for the Reich. We need to reverse our fortunes.
From rags to riches. Anyways, this guy went in for a charge. Oh, look at that! We took down the enemy commander right there. Take that, buddy. So anyways, my Imperial Knights are getting assaulted by these mailed knights, which I wasn't too worried about. I actually countercharged them. But when I saw these spearmen coming, the bane of my existence, I had to retreat. I knew my guys could take on these knights one-on-one, but not with these spearmen close behind. So I got my my Frederick Barbarossa unit right here. I see that he's running away with his peasant crossbowmen. They're in skirmish mode. And that's a mistake, because those guys, they can easily hold their ground against, what, 20 mailed knights and 5 general's bodyguard? Easily. And in the meantime, I'm also retreating my Imperial Knights away from this guy. I want to keep retreating until there's more distance between the between these horsemen right here and my Imperial Knights. I'm sorry, and his spear, so I can take on his knights one-on-one. And here I go, I'm gonna go for it. But meanwhile, my general unit and my my mailed unit took out these unit of peasant archers. But seriously, if he would have just held his ground, he could have easily taken on my guys, mano a mano. Even these peasant crossbowmen could have taken out my guys. I only have 5 units here. But I see he made this mistake, and I'm going to capitalize on it. I want to get them off the battlefield before he realizes his mistake here. And let me show what's happening to my Imperial Knights in the back. How are they doing against these mailed knights of Milan? Look at it. 2 Imperial Knights versus 1 mailed knight now. They held their ground. The Italian spears are too far to assist. The general's bodyguard's coming though. So I see them coming during the battle, and I'm just going to charge at them. It's too late to run away. So let's see how my Imperial Knights do against the general's bodyguard. They do not do so well. but at least they went down like knights. They will be immortalized forever. So, what do we have left? We have these dismounted men-at-arms. I got my armored sergeants nearby, and I got my general's bodyguard out in the distance over here. And my mailed knight still alive. We're just gonna level up on our stats by finishing off these peasant crossbows, who finally routed. I want to take some of them out. He's chased me with these dismounted knights. This is the Company of Death in loose formation right now. He didn't see that I'm chasing him with my armored sergeant, so I'm gonna get some free kills here. Because the reason why he's not able to focus everywhere is because the battle is all over the place. We got cav action going on over here. He's still trying to regroup his men over here. He's got some Italian spears. Then he's got these peasant archers who came back from routing. Darn them. So eventually I turn back on these dismounted men-at-arms. Once he turns around and faces my spearmen. So I go for a rear charge on his back. And I rout his men-at-arms finally. And there's no troops nearby that can protect that unit from routing completely. So I can take my time and just mow them down over here. There's like 6 men left. My guys will have a field day with them. Bam! So now, my opponent has peasant archers. These guys. And he's got this unit of Italian spears at 72. And he's got his general's bodyguard still at 7. I've got my mailed knights at 20, armored sergeants at 16, and my general's bodyguard at 4. So I want to take out those archers. I don't want to get stuck on his spears right now. I want to save them for last. He's got his guys in flaming mode over here. See that? How dare those peasants. You got one of my horses there. Look at that. What a hothead. So I got my sergeant stuck in with the spears. And I got my mailed knight stuck in with his general's bodyguard. Just want to get them off the battlefield. I wanted to charge him while my spearmen were still alive, but my charge got there too late. So I lose my sergeants. I'm still hopeful that they'll come back from routing though. Meanwhile, I did catch his peasant archers with my general unit. See that? So Barbarossa's gonna, you know, increase the muscle power in his swinging arm here. Look at that! Oh, look at me! I'm a bodybuilder. So I want to delay combat long enough for my general unit to level up a little bit, hopefully, and see if these guys come back from routing. Every little helps. So now it's just my 3 generals bodyguard who are out in the back, my 13 mailed knights, and these guys who might come back from routing, versus 61 Italian spears and the 3 generals bodyguard who don't have a general anymore. So he's in pretty good shape, because I don't have any units that can take on his spears. Like if they go into Shieldtron, there's like no way. Not with the amount of troops that I have. So anyhow, I want to finish off this cav unit of his. I probably could have got a free charge right here, just like smack it from behind. See that? That still would have been risky though. So I'm gonna go for his general here. See that? I got him separated from the rest of his men, so I'm gonna try to charge him. I take looks like 1 out. Then his spears get close, so I'm gonna get out of there with my mailed knights. I'm gonna move in with my general's bodyguard. There you go, just sitting there. Take that! And that! Damn, look at that guy just walking away, and my guys just kind of let him go. Come on, Barbarossa. So that lone horse unit gets away. Really disappointed in that. Anyways, in the historical battle Barbarossa lost this fight against Milan. I can tell you that now. It's a very small battle. As I said, about 2,500 versus 2,500. I mean, it's very similar numbers. So, anyways, finally, I managed to catch his unit by himself, and now he's just down to his Italian spears, and you can see them going right up into Shieldtron here. So now I'm like, what do I do? Because Shieldtron is designed specifically for killing cav, and I only have 3 in one unit and 11 in the other, versus 55 of these peasants here. So I said, hey, screw it. I'm gonna go out like a knight, because my guys never came back from routing, my sergeants. So this charge, it takes a few of them out. Look, down to 36 men, and then that second charge took down one of them. So this is the final part of the battle here. And my Doomkopf general, Barbarossa, goes down against peasants, which I suppose is the better fate than drowning in water, but whatever. But anyways, in keeping with my last 2 historical battles, I wanted to keep the time period somewhat contemporary. You know, along the lines of Richard Lionheart of England. But anyways, I lost all my horses. So those peasants win the day against my royal knights. My imperial knights. How dare they? Yeah, there's some things I would have changed with the troop composition, but overall, I'm very happy with this battle. It was, I think, it was extremely exciting. Savior 89 played really well. And I always like to show battles that are, I mean, especially battles that are semi-unheard of. I mean, it's a very small-scale battle, this Battle of Legnano of 1176 AD. But yeah, you can do some research on your own, read about it. There isn't much details about it, unfortunately. That's why you're going to find scant information, and all the information you do find is going to be inconsistent with the other. So I tried my best to recreate it, and I was very excited with the battle that we just fought. But I'll see you guys later, and good game to Savior 89.